Good evening, ladies and gentlemen from across the pond. My name is Ro. I'm with Beater here, replacing Dreamboat. Short notice. Thank you, Beater, for coming in. We're going to be doing Top 5 Rocket, a newly formed team from France with a couple extra players, and facing off against Lowpander. Beater, how you feeling tonight?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I literally just walked in the door, and then I saw that Dreamboat apparently, I don't know what he had to do, but ripped the All-American cast. I was actually quite looking forward to the American invasion here, but you know, I'll take a co-cast with you any day, Ro, and
I
should be a
appreciate
very
that.
good game as well.
Yeah, very good stuff from Lowpander. If you are following I-61, they were the third place team to come into the situation, the scene, and they're coming back. I'm pretty sure that's the exact same roster, except they have a different medic, if I'm not mistaken. Martin, replacing the normal squad of Funds, Ubers, Hildreth, Mookie, and Mr. Epic.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were looking for a female medic, but apparently
It's
there
the
aren't
meta,
that.
you know.
Yeah, you gotta have one. That's kind of what you got to go for. But they didn't manage to find one, but instead they picked up Martin, who played for No Input, I believe. It was also one of the teams in the invite group at I-61. And I think the general consensus is that Martin is very good. And he's an up-and-comer. So it's definitely a good pickup. And he's replacing Crayon, pretty much, who's has also been around for a while, but has also been known to do some horrific mistakes at times. So maybe Martin's going to be some more stability, but there might be a small grace period as well. Prem is not high. There's a pretty steep difference there.
Yeah, and over here on the other side with Top 5 Rocket, mostly all France with Ombrac on Medic, Neo on Scout, Korvac on Soldier, Elicor on Demo, of course. They've managed to pick up Fluo, the Italian, on, I believe, Roamer, and Kredu, the Finland, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Finn from down the way. He's going to be playing Scout. He had a very good performance at I-61, I remember. Very good kill streaks, very solid Scout.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when your kind of unproven scout turns out to be really, really good on land.
Yep.
It makes you think that, okay, this guy's probably the real deal. We've seen a lot of times where it takes a lot of experience for players to really mature and actually be good at land. Like Shrugger was terrible at first land, Blaze was terrible at the first land. It just takes some time, and I mean those guys are all great now, but it took a while. Whereas seems like Kratos was just instantly like really, really solid and having some really great performances. So
Very on top of his game. Not intimidated at all by the 5 ping soldiers or demos. But now we're back to typical ETF2L season. This is week 2, I believe, 28, season 28. And
yep.
this is very early on. We're going to be seeing how top 5 Rocket is going to be stacking up. Because if you noticed the post on TFTV earlier, the Ombrek had a nice little quote saying their victory against Lego is a good start for where this team's headed. And so I'm excited to see them take on, Lowpander.
Yeah, I was casting the Lego versus top 5 Rocket game, and I was really surprised at just how good top 5 Rocket was. They beat Lego out really close, but we're actually going live here. Going to be on Prolands, which is basically a Badlands clone for the first map here. But yeah, let's take it to this first mid, and it should be a very close game, or potentially at the very least, if top 5 Rocket is as good as they seem to be in the first match.
We do see Hildreth sitting inside the window, getting eyes on the vote. Wow, what a quick bomb by Fluo, setting the pace, taking down Martin right away at the slope. Neo's going to be able to pick up on a Mookie, and now there are no soldier, no medic on the side of Lowpander, and they've got a lot of control on top of the closet, but over here is Neo able to take down before getting cleaned up by Funds, who is now working his way to the closet. He does spot out the medic, he's getting on top of him. Albrecht gets taken down instantly. Can he follow up on Elicor? He's doing so much damage, the pistol's going to take him down, and a follow-up is going to be from the soldier. He's going to get taken down by Mr. Epic. What a great collapse follow-up from the scouts of Lowpander to clean up this mid.
Yeah, Fun's got a 4K on that mid, and it was looking really good, the top 5 Rocket, but then all of a sudden there's just the scout effect just coming into its own. on his middle. Like, when you have scouts alive at the end of a middle, you're just in such a good DM position. And you could just really see it there. Like, Mr. Epic was super weak, but he was just unhittable. And that's going to end up winning in that. And we actually see Martin on a pretty significant Uber advantage. They can definitely push on this if they're aware of the advantage. But they might not be. It depends on how well they've been tracking the Ubers and the spawn timers on the medics. And there's actually a forward hold as well, so that could also slow things down. Like, this is a really good way to do it. If you have a small Uber disadvantage, just do this forward hold.
Yeah, very good stuff. Korvac playing over by the drop down, getting eyes down the lanes, calling out the enemies, while his side partner, the other soldier, Fluo, just keeping eyes on players right in front of the spire. And so they managed to stall long enough. They were stalling that forward hold and then decided to back off because now they have their Uber. They're ready to hold on to it. And I do think we see a sniper from Kradu getting a position here from the upper area.
Yep, Skag's gonna find a soldier immediately. Ubers just looked in there to see what was going on, and all he found was just pure bliss of death. But there's actually Korvac's gonna go in from this side as well, gets 2 picks. He's gonna come out here onto the medic. Oh, actually, he's just gonna shoot the demo. I thought he was gonna go more aggressively than that, but I think we're definitely gonna see the Frenchies push out here and they try to go for this spire. The last time around, we saw. Oh no, Mookie's on it. There's a scout in his face, but he kills him. That's gonna be that. One guy missed. That's all it takes.
That was insane. They had a 3-man advantage pushing out there. I don't know if Mr. Epic was stuck on sniper. I see he's still on sniper. So yeah, he stayed on sniper on that push out. And that might have been a mistake. Or no, that was. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong teams. But no, Mookie snuck in from lower right because none of the players pushed their way out. Instead, they just kind of went out through main because they were so excited about the pick. And Mookie just walked in on last, got it.
Yeah, Mookie is gonna be going into choke here. That's a bit of an unusual spot where he's not going to find anyone. And there's actually Hill just going to go really aggressively across the middle, but he could just get punished immediately, just get stingied and rocketed. That's going to be the 2 scouts, but they also get taken down. So far, top5rocket been really good at just absorbing all of this aggression coming at them, but they have been pushed all the way back into the choke, and then all of a sudden, Luke's just going to bomb in there and do so much damage, and Kratos going to be the only alive person to the left, and he's going to get taken down by funds.
Very solid bomb by Mookie there. He was wrapping through the house, was able to wait for the aggression from his teammates to pull him back, and then that just blind bomb, shooting the feet, shooting the ground. He was able to get all those kills before he can clean up himself. So now with a full advantage and working their way towards Spire, we're going to see what top5rocket can do to slow things down. They are opting to go with the bats right now, and Elikor is going to be rotating over to the drop down maybe. Korvac is sitting in forward spawn. They're just kind of keeping an eye on everything, and now they've decided to back off. No reason to go out there and try and find an opportunity to force out because they could get caught with this full Uber disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a very low percentage play to actually go for the force here for anyone. Like, you need basically a spy to get a medic pick, and they haven't opted to do that. So they're just gonna hold it straight up. Gonna be an Uber in on the top right, very standard. It's gonna be a pyro as well, but they haven't actually dealt with the pyro very well. The pyro even gets arrowed there at the end, and he's still alive. They've only killed a sentry so far. Finally, Neo goes down, but I think it might have just been too much. They have gained the high ground, but they've been losing so many players that I just don't think it's going to be enough. The single soldier on the point, can he actually do it? No, not quite. A very solid hold there off the back of that pyro play.
Absolutely crucial in slowing down that Uber long enough for the rest of the players to get a hold onto the high ground, like you say. Take over that midpoint. Now we see Elikor jumping onto the Spire, going to be putting a little bit of pressure onto the demo, who's still committed to this. Hildreth playing very close on Greybridge, going to get pressured by the scout, but Kratos going to back off because he sees the rest of the team rushing in through the choke, and now the fight is going to be happening at the bottom of Spire, but Ombrak does have that Uber, and he's going to be ready to use it any moment now. They do see an opportunity, forces on Neo. He's going to be focusing on Funds here, who manages to finally get cleaned up there, but Medic is going to get out. Martin getting out just nicely. That Uber will not be able to get that pick, and they will be finishing off Spire, thankfully.
Oh,
but
the back
going last! Oh, so close.
Mr. Epic somehow snuck his way in there, but just didn't quite get there in time, and all of it really achieved here is giving away his position. So, you know, they know there's going to be a backup, and they're really just middle hoping to kind of circumnavigate that, and that's going to be it. Oh, look at Korvac. He's just waiting for Mr. Epic here to jump out. Don't do it, Mr. Epic. He's waiting for you. Oh, he's been spotted now.
Yeah, they've called it out, and that's going to give Lowpander an opportunity to come back in because they know there's a lot of players pulled behind. And then a little bit distracted here. Korvac going to try and initiate here onto the train, getting wrapped to the house, waiting for an arrow from his medic from long range, but Ombrak is not in position. And Mookie going in deep. He's going to crater, though. He's not going to get an opportunity there, but Mr. Epic is close now, and he spotted Ombrak. He's got him on his back. He's shooting as much as he can, but no, he gets cleaned up. Very nice rocket, followed up by Neo's scattergun. But no, Elikor might get caught out here. He does, with a nice little sticky from Hildreth, who's still in the fray. Going to try and get a nice little sticky. Does pick off onto Neo, and Fluo is very close. He's going to get a nice little juggle onto the enemy scout. The Uber is going to... Ombrak milking so hard. Funds is going to be backing up, and they still have control of the midpoint, and Hildreth is going to get jumping out through Diag.
And Kratos just took down the medic as well, so this is looking really good. Uber didn't achieve too much, but it kept the medic alive, so that was actually enough just for this one Uber. And as I say that, the medic immediately goes down, so I jinxed that pretty hard. But Fluo is going to come in, just immediately make his presence known, just splash people down, and he was even going to start taking out players. And this is looking like a really good fight for top 5 Rocket. They can just ride this momentum, they can cap Spire, but the middle is also really capped out, so they have to be careful for the back cap as well.
Yeah, they're going to be checking everything out while they're working their way in through the house. It's going to be, you know, they're waiting for their heals and everything. They got to get their numbers in. Meanwhile, Lowpander getting into a good position here. Finally, the Flood is coming in through the choke, and Elikor is on Pride Rock. Fluo is going to be initiating onto the side of Spire, followed close with that Kratos on Gray. Not going to be seeing any opportunities there. Just pushing players back, and now they do notice they're all trapped in trash, so Fluo is in a really good position here to drop down onto the enemy players. He does get some good damage on Martin, but he's not going to get cleaned up. Hildreth's going to get that frag. Very nicely done. And the back cap happened on mid from Buns.
He actually did it. The Madman, he just went back to stood on it for long enough, and now that's going to pull everyone back, and we actually see everyone else now from Lowpander just pouring in on mid here. It's going to make it impossible for them to actually cap. They're going to keep on pushing top 5 Rocket back. Mookie's going to be really close to dying, but I think one rocket, or nope, just as I say that, he immediately dies. But the jinx is strong in me today, bro. It's I'm a deadly man. Just whenever I say people are doing well, they just immediately die, but that's going to be a recap.
Notice the Kiss of Death, or the Caster's Curse, we do see here. Funds waiting at the bottom of Spire. They have Uber to contest this, but they don't have the fragging classes to really initiate on top of Spire. And as a result, Fluo is going to be able to force off the super from Martin at the bottom of the Spire. They're going to be trying to rotate their way out. Finally, Funds manages to pick off Fluo, but Hildreth was caught on the Spire at the same time.
Why? Neo jumped off of the Spire and didn't cap it. That was such an easy cap for him. I can't believe he did that. Now it's not capped, and now it's going to be just a free push coming at it from Lowpander. They could have been like dealing with Spire right now, but instead they're in a really good position to actually push in. Gonna jump in both soldiers. Neo gets taken down. Yeah, Mr. Epic just the big flank along with Funds. That's gonna be it. Man, I can't believe Neo didn't cap that. Was there someone else that I didn't see? No way. Ombrak survived on 9 HP as well.
Oh, he goes for the health pack, but that was a mistake. He probably should have just ran all the way to the Diag and hoped Elikor could lock them out while he made his way up, but instead he takes the risk and fails the roll. So as a result, they're going to have no medic to defend this and a huge Uber ad, meaning that the Spire is going to be almost for sure for free, and then last shortly after.
Yeah, Martin's going to make his way into trash area. Looks like he's going to climb Spire, just assuming there's a forward hold. There isn't this time around, and that's probably for the better. There's a sentry gun on last, and last time around the Pyro was a big problem. Neo just surviving for ages and ages. Well, let's see if they're actually able to deal with him better this time around. Lowpander, they shouldn't be able to predict it this time around. Just going to send in Mr. Epic immediately. And so far, Neo still not dead, just reflecting like a god, and nothing has died. There, Neo finally goes down, but that was probably not fast enough, and Martin is going to get taken down. His Korvac made his way in behind.
Very good flank from the soldier. And now it's a desperate attempt from Ubers trying to get a little bit of damage onto the scout. Kratos going to get taken down, and Funzy's going to run to the point, but get cleaned up very easily by Elikor's Sticky. Very nicely placed. Mookie, the only player alive on the side of Lowpander, but now the respawns are in. And as a result, they are going to be able to get to the second much faster than the rest of the respawns, because all 4 players are still down on the side of top 5 Rocket.
Yeah, Mookie's the only one, and he's just watching drop down right now. And it almost looks like top 5 Rocket are looking for him, just not wanting to push. And it is really like a thing with this map. It's so difficult to push out. It's almost like Spire takes too long to cap, or the spawns are too short, or something like that, where teams have just decided that they need a massive advantage to actually push alpha. And just having an Uber advantage is not enough. Having a man advantage is not enough. Like, you need both, and you need them to be really significant. And it just wasn't right here. So maybe Kratos gonna go spy. He's currently just checking for classes, and he should be able to find Mr. Epic. But yeah, it kind of seems like a wasted opportunity.
But it's actually going to work out for the best because Mr. Epic is on that sniper running the Machina. He was poised behind the barrel at choke, able to get a nice shot.
Ooh.
As a result, he's going to be able to pick up Fluo. Not afraid of any of that knockback from the splash damage. He just waits his time, just takes the shot, and takes him down. So now with that soldier pick, they can start working their way with Mr. Epic once again, trying to get a charged shot, but I don't think anyone's going to be peeking forward. They know there's a sniper in that angle, and they actually have Kradu on the sniper ready to retaliate.
Yeah, also Mookie has switched to spy. He's gone all the way back, he's switched, and he is in a really good position. And as a medic, this is your worst nightmare, because if you look ahead of you, there's going to be a sniper that just picks you off. Or like, if you look ahead, you're going to get backstabbed, right? And if you look behind you, you're going to get sniped. So you can't win. It's a perfect play. Now, currently, we see Ombrek actually standing in spawn. That's about as safe as you can get, but there's actually a much better angle for the sniper to hit you if you're in spawn. And there we go! Mookie actually moves in and gets him. So, yep, it's a perfect play. You cannot play around it. It doesn't matter where you look.
Very solid initiation. Now we do see they're walking in, not even having to force off the Uber. They do finally pop it off, but Hill just got taken down. And as a result, Elikor is going to have a little bit more strength on top of these high grounds. Working his way over to the lobby. He's going to trap out these soldier and scout. Fun's going to get taken down. And Uber's going to grab a nice little arrow before getting juggled. And he's so low. Finally, Sticky's taken down. And Elikor doing a massive amount of work here in this defense. And we're going to be seeing Kradu working his way over to the bats. He's getting on top of the spire. He does spot out the scout on the side of the resupply. And he's going to be trying to finish off this cap. And he's getting a little bit of help from Fluo, who's going to be trying to knock Mookie off. Mookie not able to get anything there. He stopped it for just a moment. And now they're kind of in a good position to fight because they have all their respawns and still have their heals.
Yo, and Mookie even getting the air shot there. And then Martin taking down Ombrag as well. This is just completely falling apart. This is just the danger of the spire area. If you don't cap it immediately, the respawners will come in and just roll over you. Luckily, they did cap it, but it's just kind of not important. The only thing that's going to prevent is just an immediate push in here. But there's going to be a full Uber advantage in their face as well. And Neo's not even on Pyro. That's going to be Kradu this time around, but unless they mess up against the Pyro again, they should be a very easy cap.
Yeah, the force does go off through main, and Pyro's going to get a nice little air blast to slow things down from the players trying to get onto the upper areas. Doing a little bit of damage onto Mr. Epic, who's burning alive on top of the staircase, trying to work his way around. He does spot out Fluo, gets onto the point now, but gets cleaned up by Elikor's traps, very nicely placed around the point. And it's going to be Mookie once again trying to sneak in, but gets the air shot by Korvac, nice little juggle. And that's a full wipe. I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to get this Spire cap. But unfortunately, all the spawns
if they don't get this, they're terrible. Let's just agree on that. If they don't get this, yeah. But again, the Pyro does so much work. The Pyro actually got a 2K there, just W running people. Yeah, you can usually create as you're saying Pyro update, because so far the Pyro's just been completely dominant on this last. Lowpander is going to sit up here on the middle, just waiting to see if they can force out an Uber as the top 5 rocket come in here. They want to force out the Uber and then be able to retreat. They actually get down Flute, jumped in very aggressively, but so far Ombrek has not been popped, and that's what they're really looking for here, to get that force out of him. And so far he hasn't succeeded. Korvac does go down though. So it should be make it pretty difficult to push, because like Ubers are equalizing, and also if you don't have a lot of players, it's difficult to cap Spire.
Especially when both soldiers on both sides of each team are down. So as you say, they're working their way towards the Spire now, getting eyes on things. They do have their respawns now ready in position. Fluo taking a little arrow here, trying to dodge some grenade spam, jumps in, putting out a little bit of damage. If he has a follow from the scout, finally does. Kradu going to be walking forward, so much damage, and Neo is also on top of it. So much pressure, but not enough damage. That's going to be kind of a lackluster aggression here. Mookie gets taken down, as well as Ubers. So no soldiers once again on the side of Lowpander. They'll be forcing it off, and now over at the choke is Mr. Epic, working his way as much as he can into the face of the enemy team, who also walked their Uber off, and now working their way to the Gray Bridge. It's going to be able to trap off Martin and clean that up, and Funds and Mr. Epic go down too. Top 5 Rocket are fully wiping the enemy team and are working their way to last with only two soldiers spawning to defend.
Yeah, 2 soldiers, they can definitely defend it if people dive the point too much. They do get the first one, but luckily top 5 Rocket, they played well. Like the classic mistake is just dive everyone onto the point and cap it as fast as possible, and then like 2 soldiers come in and go shoot 1 rocket and kill basically all of you, right? But no, top 5 Rocket, they're better than that. So that's gonna make it 1-1, and top 5 Rocket, they continue their great form. I thought they were gonna be like mid tier, while Lowpander would be high tier, unlike the Prem rankings, but so far top 5 Rocket have been competing with everyone.
Yes, over here underneath the point, we do see some slow walking from Ubers trying to get in position while Mookie does go for a nice little bomb. Gets cleaned up by Korvac here, but Buns is going to be walking forward and now wrapping his way through the house. He's going to get onto the enemy medic at any moment now. He's onto Albrecht here doing so much. No, he can't even hit. He's going to get hammed away by the enemy demo and finally cleaned up by Kradu. But the follow-up wraparound from Ubers is going to be insanely good. Able to take down Kradu, but he's so low. He takes an arrow and stays alive for just a moment longer. No, the fluffed arrow. All right, finally, dude. He's staying so alive so long. He shouldn't be doing this. And now the rest of the team of Lowpander are walking forward, cutting off Elikor with the rest of the heals. And I think they get a little bit of pressure on there. They can make something happen here, but Fluo is also getting into the fray right now at bats. And it's looking like another team fight going on at this second point.
Yeah, those arrows right there were so crucial. The Scout's going to put some pressure on the Inspire, but he gets knocked off pretty easily here. So right now, like, the longer this fight takes, usually the better it is for the red team. And Ubers will actually get taken down there. And Martin just decides to let him die there. He could have saved him, but just decided it wasn't worth the Uber. And it looks like that was definitely a good decision, as they finally do manage to just push the rest of top 5 Rocket back. They're going to cap Spire, make their way in here. They actually have like a 1 minute advantage for one more second here, but they could just push in off of this and just exchange Ubers, or they could just wait for their offclass to come back. Oh my god, look at that. Hiller just destroys Neo, and Flu will actually get 2, so that's a safe situation right there, I think.
Nice little bait onto the point. Hildreth bombs to the point himself. Gets saved by Martin there, and they're trying to get their way out. Demo's not chasing hard enough to lock them out or any soldier spam to juggle the players in the air. So now it's going to be really good aggression from top 5 Rocket trying to push their way out, but Ombrak is really disconnected because of all the sticky spam. He's going to be rotating over to the trash while the rest of his scouts get onto the Spire now, and they will be getting this cap down, but Fluo needs that arrow desperately to stay alive. He is not going to get arrowed there, unfortunately, and Elikor gets taken down by Mookie.
Yeah, Spire did get capped. That's really important. It's going to make it so much easier for top 5 Rockets to actually fight this. Funds is now going to put some pressure on it, and I think top 5 Rockets have just decided to just completely back out here, and I don't blame them. Martin with the tiny Uber advantage, they could dot push on it, but I don't think they actually realize they have a small advantage, and especially now that Hill just can't even do simple jumps. He actually dropped down while trying to jump from Spire to balcony. He couldn't make it. His legs weren't strong enough. So that slowed them down a little bit, and now the Ubers will be even. We actually see a heavy. Okay, that was Neo. I thought that was Mookie.
Yeah.
I was
would have been really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, wow, I can't believe Mookie is heavy and already in red spawn. I'm an idiot. I realized as it's not him. And oh my god, Manu takes down Martin.
That was a shot from lower main, incredibly well timed there. And while the rest of the players were getting out of position, and Conqueror is going to be popped off. Going to be able to clean up on a Mookie, and now they're working away as quickly as they can thanks to all that speed boost. They're going to be getting on top of Hildreth. He's going to get juggled, but a follow-up from Funds is going to take him down and not allow him to push any further. It's going to be a nice little bomb from Elikor as he takes that Uber into the face of Funds, who takes so much damage, but he's still staying alive, and he's going to get out in just in time. It's going to be some initiation from Ubers, who unfortunately craters, but Hildreth will be able to clear on to Neo, who was trying to get that back cap attempt, or at least pushing out, one could say. Yeah, and now it's just the Demo and Medic on last.
Yeah, it is a really good demo man, but like once he runs out of ammo, it's just going to be so difficult, right? Like this is the problem with demo man when he's just alone. It's just that he just runs out of ammo, and then all of a sudden he just can't kill anyone anymore. And it was just like a single Uber, and he went in there, did a lot of damage to his scout, and then like the scout just jumped around with 20 HP, and eventually it's just going to lose. That's going to be 2-1 in favor of Lowpander.
Very good response from Lowpander here as we're going into this next mid fight. I want to see some initiation once again, trying to deny the aggressive play from Mookie. He's at the top of the scoreboard on the side of his team, doing so much work in these mid fights. So I want to see Neo and Kradu getting into a good position here as they wait for the expected bombs from Ubers, who's getting on top of the train, and a nice little follow-up bomb around the corner up from Korvac is going to be doing some good damage there. Fluo was able to pick up onto Martin there, and I didn't see where he was at the time, but his frags are going so much in favor of top 5 Rocket. They're very low on health, and Funds could potentially 1v1 this while they're waiting for Ombrak to arrow everyone up. And Funds is going to grab the health pack, work his way towards the closet.
Let's go.
He's going to go against Juggle, that's it.
Alright, Funds is good, but he's not that good. I admire the heart, I suppose. I was very optimistic there. It was literally 1v4 because Hildred was all the way out. He's put up a few sticky traps, but nothing I don't think anyone has seen before. So it's going to be a free Spire right now for top 5 Rocket. And they have a massive Uber advantage.
Very huge indeed, and more time that they can use to stall from Movers, who's very far forward in the drawdown. taking a couple rockets, going to be backing off here very shortly now. The players are getting in position. Top 5 rocket are ready to push with this. They've got very little time to do it. They need to get healed up and start working their way in. They're waiting around. They're waiting for the heals. Push now. You're losing your advantage. 8 seconds away from them having Uber. Come on.
I don't know. You want to take in the site? Like, have you ever seen? Okay, there we go. Finally, it might just be too late. There's 82% on the Uber from Martin. The Syndigon's gonna eat up a lot of spam right here. They actually do get Mr. Epic as well, but Martin is about to have his Uber. There we go. He popped it. So they were just too slow. It's taking way too much time. They're gonna be kicking themselves if they completely lose this here.
Neo and Korvac are in position on last. Neo went for the medic on Greybridge while Korvac was able to 1v1 poor Hildreth. And he's not going to be fighting against Mr. Epic, who had no fear whatsoever, just went to his face. Meat shot him, took him down. So, unfortunately, Ombrak stays alive. Or, thankfully, Ombrak stays alive, but Martin is going to be all the way back now. So there's a very big advantage on their side. But with how they played that, it could be disastrous for them if they don't lose this. If they lose the Spire right now.
Yeah, Lowpander is going to try to put pressure onto the Spire. They've got 2 scouts on it and some soldiers ready to jump in on it as well. Here's going to come the soldier jump in, try to contest it, but he gets completely denied, both scouts. So that's going to be a successful push so far for Lowpander, but if they're not careful, they can actually just start losing a lot of players and lose the Spire right back. And Funds with a nice arrow that gets received. But the medic has been completely caught in. Martin just in a corner gets demolished. And I think Lowpander is going to be finally cleaning up right here. This is cut on Spire. Dodges the air shot, but Funch will eventually clean him up.
And Mr. Epic is here on mid now, waiting for the rest of his team to come in. Funch is going to be following up onto the soldier. Fluo, he's getting so low on health, going to get down to the choke and get alive for a very comfortable amount of health now. It's going to be Uber's sitting on the point now. But with no heals, they're not in a good position to fight this. We need to see some initiation from the rest of the top 5 rocket. They can't give this up. We're just seeing a nice little bomb from Fluo to pressure the soldier in the window. And they managed to steady off Lowpander's aggression there, and now they're going to be working their way in with a 30% advantage.
Yeah, once again, these small advantages have not been very kind to them, or they haven't been kind to the advantages. They haven't really been able to use them. It just takes so long to actually push on them. So I'm going to predict that they're not going to push on this small advantage. They are, however, in resub.
Very close.
Yeah, so it looks like I am wrong. They're just going to go in very aggressively right now. Ombrak has not taken any damage, which is very crucial. Just bullying out all of the Lowpander, and they've actually managed to take Spire pretty much without incident, not losing a single person. So great push there. They really did use the small advantage there. So the jinxing continues.
That's how it goes, and they're going to be forcing their Uber in from lower right, getting onto the point now. They're clearing the stickies as best they can, and they have spot out the sentry and forced off the Uber, thankfully. So they're going to try and rotate their way out. Fluo might get caught here, but he does manage to sneak his way out through the upper battlements, and is actually going to be able to clean up Mookie on his way out.
Yeah, he wasn't caught in there at all. He just got a pick easy. And he's going to get an arrow. I think he's going to jump in. Yeah, he jumps in very aggressively. Not quite able to finish the job there. But Fun's going to struggle to actually clean up people onto the point. And I think this has finally lost enough steam for the side here. They need to still take down Hildreth. Oh my god, they're actually doing it. There's just one medic. Can Martin get 2 arrows? Oh, a Soda comes in as well. He's so close, but no, eventually it's going to be equalized. That was such a messy push.
It really was, but the top 5 rocket did a very good job of drawing players out, making the best of it once they reinitiated. Very good damage from Elikor. That was definitely the only reason they won there, because that pipe he hit onto the soldier so that Neo could clean up, the follow-up pipe on Hildreth so he could die. Absolutely crucial play by Elikor there to win that round for them. And now it's 2-2 with 5 minutes left.
Yeah, it's crazy how much different that can do. But go on to this, look like Elikor's going to go from the balcony. Hildreth's going to go a lot more passive, but Mookie's just going to jump into the house immediately and just get taken down. He did a bunch of damage, but that's about it. And it looks like top 5 rocket, they will actually get pushed back pretty aggressively right here. There is people in the house. That's going to be Flu. Actually takes down Funds, but it's going to be 2-on-4, and that's not a fight you want to take, even if you're Elikor. So he's just going to escort his medic back and probably try to set up some sticky traps here in Spire.
Yeah, he's getting poised for a potential push through Valley. but he's not going to meet up with anyone. He's just going to be holding on to his stickies, putting them on Pride Rock, slowing things down for the rest of the team. They actually look like they want to commit to this, even though they don't have the numbers. Elikor is staying so far aggressive, and Korvac is going to be jumping in, getting some good damage, and Elikor is going to get the nice pipe on Mr. Epic, taking him down. A follow-up from Neo is going to be able to work his way in through the house, gets so much damage on Mookie because he hit himself in the face. He's walking through, does manage to pick up onto Ubers, and now with Mookie so low on health, Elikor is peeking through the choke, doing a very good amount of damage, but no other players are in position to do something, and Funz is behind now on battlements, pulling Fluo behind and potentially meeting him in the face. He's so close. Nice little rocket onto Funz. He's getting peppered so lightly. Funz is causing a lot of havoc here. He might get out even.
Wow, I can't believe he actually made it. There's a soldier that, oh man, soldier didn't get it. Soldier didn't choke though. That's gonna force Martin. That was a perfect force coming out there from Korvac to jump onto his head, just perfectly synced it. But Martin was actually really good on his on his trigger finger there. Like that's a situation where a lot of medical drop. Like where you're already falling, you shoot one rocket and then you shoot the other one. Like the second rocket is going to hit faster than you expect it to because the soldier is moving. So it was a great pop there by Martin. And they're going to try to ride this momentum. They're putting on a ton of pressure, but there's some respawners coming in as well. Martin about to go down, yeah. So no more heals coming in, and Fluing is going to take down Ubers as he jumps in. That's a small air shot. Korvac even with the skill stick coming in. Can Neo just clean up? Just everyone getting skill stick right now.
And now with this huge numbers advantage, they're going to be able to get up to the cap. They did lose Ombrak in that exchange. I forget who it was, but he died at the exact same time as Martin.
Fun's going for the back cap. Oh, he just looked at the sword. Yeah,
not at all.
Yeah, they
on
were
that.
on him. It looks like he's going to make the same escape that he did before this time around with a lot more HP. Yeah, he does have a soldier to support him, but... and actually at the same time, Ubers is pushing the stone bridge, so it's actually a multi-pronged attack, and that's going to be enough to re-win in the Spire. So I really like this push. Like they were pushing both resub and the normal way into choke onto the stone bridge, so that was just too much pressure for top 5 rocket, and they're going to fall back to last. With about 3 minutes remaining.
It's very important that they hold on to this defense. It's very hard for them to push out like we've talked about before, but it's more important for this moment because at best they can hope to tie, and right now the Uber is ready to push forward. Lowpander getting the position. They're not afraid of the stickies. They will be popping. And once again, there's a sentry, but no pyro to slow things down. Neo not in position at the time. So now the Uber is going to get forced off from Ombrak. They're getting players onto the point. Blue is going to be jumping in, trying to get some damage onto the nice little flash, getting good damage onto Funz, who's going to be backing off here. And Mookie is going to clean up by Elikor, while the other soldier, Uber, is going to get cleaned up in the lower left. Funz does manage to 1v1 Elikor in the main tunnel, and is now going to be backing things off. There is 2 minutes left in this round. Definitely enough time for potentially 2 more pushes with full Uber.
Yeah, the bad news right now for top 5 rocket is that they've been really bad at pushing out on the last. And whenever there's a marginal situation like this, they just like to sit back. And that could just mean that Lowpander will have a couple of free opportunities to go in for some plays. And then if they lose 2 or 3 players, it's not going to be a big deal because they're not going to get pushed on. So, you know, that could really bite the top 5 rocket if they're not careful. There comes the Uber again. Ombrak's about 90%, so basically the same situation as before. Sentiment will go down immediately. Some time on the point as well, but they lose 2 players for it, so that was probably not worth it. The counter Uber has come out from Ombrak, and yeah, that's going to be 3 players down, so they're almost definitely going to push out here. But, you know, can you win in 1 minute 20? I think the answer is yes. They're definitely going to go for the Spire, but they need to be careful of the back cap.
And Hildreth's doing a very good job of stopping Fluo from getting that cap underway, and that's going to scare the rest of top 5 rocket out. Elikor is just barely going to be getting out into the back spawn. He will be getting into position on last while the rest of the players are rushing in through main. They need to go for this cap right now if they want to secure themselves a victory instead of a tie. And with 50 seconds left, they can even wait now. The Ubers are relatively even, but Mookie going in deep, and Elikor picking up Hildreth, who's playing a little aggressive on that forward main. This is fine, though, because they can't possibly lose. It's literally top 5 rockets map to lose at this point.
Yeah, so you cannot push out, and you can just take your time right now and just build in with Uber, and yeah, they're going to go in with the small Uber advantage once again. You know, if they're lucky, they catch out Ombrak. But 2 players right now are not in the fight for Lowpander. The Demo Man and the Soldier are both not in it. Hilton's going to be in here very soon with the Quick Bomb launch, so he can clear the point of stickies. That has now been done. So now everyone's going to come in from the top. Oh, Scout on the point, putting time on it, and that's going to pull people down. So that can mean that they're on the low ground. Medi goes in very aggressively. Mr. Epic, he's still shooting.
So much damage! He does get the bomb, but he's going to save it just in time with the follow-up from the Soldier Fluo. And that's going to be it. Oh, that was so close when I saw Hildreth hit that. Oh, when he hit that sticky, I was like, it's over. There's no way. But Hombrak with the clutch saw, able to stall for just a moment longer and save themselves from a loss. Instead, they'll take the tie, which I believe gives both teams 1 point in the season, right?
Yeah, that gives them 1 point, and now there's going to be a golden cap to decide who gets the last point. So they will get the winner of the golden cap will get 2 points, and the loser will get 1 point, and then we move on to the second map.
Very nicely done. I don't see the stats open on the thingy thing, so I don't think we have logs up at this moment. But we'll be getting underway with his golden cap. Just fill me back in on this because I'm a little disconnected with the new golden cap rules. Is
All right.
it now like there's no time limit, or is there still a time limit for owning mid?
There is no time limit, so whoever
That's what I
controls
thought.
mid is completely irrelevant. It used to be that it was a 10-minute limit, and then if the time ran out, it was whoever controlled middle.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that's not a thing anymore. It's just forever until we finally get a cap. So
Much better. I agree with that fully too, because it's so easy for players, especially on maps like Goalie Wash or Badlands. Once you take mid, you don't even have to push. You can just hold Spire, make your way, just prevent them from doing anything because it's just so hard to push out of last in those situations. So I fully agree with this change. And hopefully these teams, we've seen it pretty even on both sides this entire game, but hopefully these teams can maybe bang out a victory within 5 or 10 minutes.
yeah, top5rocket were pretty clutch against Lego last week. It was basically always at the very end of things they would just come back and just win the map from Lego or bring it to Golden Cap, and then they would also win the Golden Cap. So just on that factor alone, it just kind of seems like top5rocket would be favored here. Going into this, I'd say Lowpander was definitely the better team, like going into the season, but Lowpander have not been as good, or rather, top5rocket have been way better than I initially expected. So, if Omrag ever feels like calling me out for being wrong, after this match would probably be a good time. Because top5rocket, they've been really impressing me so far this season, like beating Lego, and then now they're tied up against Lowpander, both teams that I thought were definitely shoo-ins for being best teams of the season.
Yeah, every player seems to have a very good hold on what they're supposed to be doing. All these players playing, obviously, in the Premiership League, you'd expect them to be playing at the top of their game. But I'm really impressed. I've always known about Elikor ever since I was introduced to him a couple months ago. But he's been doing so much work in everything, in playing defensively and playing offensively, denying players that are out of position. I think, and I hate to do this because I met Hildreth at I-61. He was such a nice guy. But Hildreth is not performing at the top of his game. There are some times where he was out of position, namely on that last, but that was also with 40 seconds left, so it was kind of a desperate thing. But I've noticed that Hildreth hasn't been giving the best performance he could possibly be doing, and in that regard, I think Elikor shines much more as a demo man currently in this exact matchup,
Yeah,
having that huge demo advantage.
Yeah, Hildreth's problem has always been that his DM hasn't really been up to snuff, right? Like, that's definitely his big weakness, is that his DM isn't all that great. So he relies much more on having really good game sense and positioning and just decision making. And, when those things are not on point, he really suffers, and he just looks very unimpressive compared to people who have really good DMs, such as Elikor. Right, so, he definitely needs to use his big European brain here to just make the right calls and just predict the plays and just show his power, basically. Because that is his goal play.
I think at this mid fight he's going to be shining particularly because if he can get a good enough position, can spot out the enemy players. If top5rocket goes in the wrong position or opts to go in some direction that Hildreth has domain over, it's going to be over, and they can win that mid fight easily. And that's what we're going to be looking for. At least what I'm going to be looking for, so that Lowpander could potentially close this one out. But otherwise, everywhere across the board, I think all the players are playing at exactly the same level. Just incredible performance from all these players.
Yeah, I will say, I think the scary part is that top5rocket, they seem to me like they were missing some really big opportunities, like as a team, right? Like pushing on time with Ubers. Like they're missing opportunities, so they have room to improve as well. So when you have a team that's performing pretty well, and then they could very obviously become better, like by just fixing a few decision-making things, like that's always scary to me. Like when a team has a really high ceiling and have room to improve when they're already doing well, that's something you need to watch out for. For sure. So let's just hope that they get on top of it. It could just be that they're a little bit rusty or not quite ready for the game. You know, like even though you can warm up and do like practice scrims or do scrims before the game, it's still not the same as just being in an official. Like the intensity is completely different. So, you know, maybe it just takes a map or a half to just adjust to it, and hopefully they can use that for the better.
So they're quickly adjusting the config, so we should be going live soon. But I just wanted to bring up one other thing, just a short little meta talk, theory talk. What would happen if they're on last for 10 minutes and nobody caps Spire, nobody caps last? What happens?
It just resets.
So they play another golden cap?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hopefully avoid that. Let's see if Lowpander can step up to the plate and do what's best, or if top5rocket has what it takes to take their position in ETF2L as a strong team right now. Hildreth getting a nice early sticky onto Elikor. He's getting pressured so hard by Mookie, but he's going to clean up by Elikor's nice little pipe there. And follow-up from Neo is going to be pressuring at the choke, and Blue is just going to walk in through the closet, getting good damage onto Martin, but Fun turns around, is going to be able to take him down very easily. But Korvac has already done the damage, taking down Ubers and Mr. Epic at the same time. Martin is going to be backing up the Grey Bridge with Hildreth getting on Spire, setting up traps for the oncoming players, and he is going to get out just in time. Could potentially grab Korvac here if he's
Korvac's
well
definitely in
timed.
the danger.
No,
he just spotted it. And I think he just called. Oh, this guy was like,
Where?
and he got it. Yeah, so top5rocket already winning this mid, showing that, yep, they're basically the masters of clutch so far in this season. They're just taking their time right now. They don't have an Uber advantage. Martin did survive the middle, which is really important. And now with Elikor going down, that's going to be definitely a push that's going to be called off. However, it could be a blessing in disguise, as this allows him to switch the sticky bomb launcher to the quickie bomb launcher.
That's going to be very strong. It's such a strong weapon, particularly on this map. If anyone's ever played Badlands, you know how fun it is to quickly get that cap, but it's been so much worse with things like the Scorch Shot and the Quickie Bomb Launcher able to clear off that thing. I remember back in the day when scouts would stand in main all the way in the back and just pistol very gently on every single sticky and then let their other scatter soldier just walk in from lower right. Sometimes snipers would clear it out, but now it's easier with the demo.
Yeah, in hindsight, that's so cute, right? Like, we just shoot one bomb and they're all gone. It's like, yeah, that's cute and all, but let me show you how it's really done. Great to actually get taken down. Yeah, Mookie has actually been doing this a lot this season, where he just goes spy, and then if he sees an opportunity to just kill literally anyone, he will just take it. Oh my god, is he gonna get this demo? Oh no, okay.
Nice pie.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. Elikor thought he was like bumping up against the wall, but it was actually a spy.
Yeah, so things are going to once again reset, and as it stands, top5rocket currently in the position to win because they are holding the cards essentially. The ball is mostly in their court to decide what to do with it. They can push forward, they can just wait things out, wait for a dynamite pick from a sniper or spy. Kratos in a great position from lower main, but he could get sniped here by Mr. Epic, who's got a nice little sightline there. Does take a shot, but doesn't connect onto Kratos, who's so close, but no, he backs off. And Mookie is still on that spy, calling things out, and Kratos is going to get that frag thanks to the, I would presume, the callouts from Mookie.
Yeah, Mookie was just standing there, just calling out exactly where he was, and then Mr. just jumped out there and basically wall hacked him right. Like, it was basically the same effect. So Mookie, he's still out there. He's just looking at them right now. He's just not even trying to get into a good position. He's just waiting it out, just calling where everyone is, and then, you know, maybe someone else can make a play based off of his calls. But right now, it's just a sniper and an NG at last. No scouts at all, not even necessary. It's basically Highlander right now going on for Lowpander. They're taking their time, and let's see if Mookie will try to actually go for some picks now that the medics have moved inside lobby here. Kratos in main, and once again, he's just being called out by Mookie.
Exactly, and that's something they don't realize, is that there is a spy in play, and Mookie can do so much work. He can say he's rotating upper main, and look, Mr. Epic's already charged up in upper main. He's going to be lining up that shot. Kratos walking around the corner. He takes the shot on the medic, who's jumping forward very aggressively, and Umbrek is staring in the face of Mookie, but he doesn't know that Mookie is seconds away from dying if anything goes wrong. He's calling out. He sees the double soldiers getting healed out. They're going to try and catch out.
Oh, he's going to go for
here
it
with some nice spam. But he's going to back off. And now there it is, the spy plate, but does not work. Very good reaction time for Blue.
Dude, that was so, like, that was just a big brain play right there from Umbrak. And actually, that's going to be 2 picks all of them. Like, surely this is going to be a good push. This is a good time to push, and yeah, they're going to go in through top left. For sure, they do spam down the sentry gun, but Elico's going to be basically out of stickies at this point. But they're going to send in the soldiers, try and see if they can get the force out. So far, they're not successful, but there we go. Finally gets forced out. And this is actually still a really good situation for the top 5 rocket. They can re-push, they can go back out. It looks like they're going to go for the go back out and then wait for the respawners route. And let's hope for their sake that they can actually hold this properly.
Very nice sticky trap from Elicor to do a nice little amount of damage to poor Mr. Epic,
actually
but
lose
he's
him,
going to
though.
stay alive.
Yeah, Elicor actually died. That's really unfortunate. So it's a successful push out here based off of the medic force. Oh, like they can still push in here, but they're 1 man down, so they're making it difficult for themselves. And they also have a sniper. That's going to make it a lot more difficult to actually cap the Spire and put pressure on it. And if you can't put pressure on the Spire, these Uber exchanges are going to be pretty sketchy. There's a sticky trap in... No, never mind, that didn't alone. And Flu's going to try to jump up onto the Spire and pressure it, but not quite going to get it. But he's going to jump in very aggressively. Martin now has his own Uber, so once again, top 5 rocket, they're just too slow with their Ubers.
Mookie is very low on health, is going to try and clean up on Umbrak. Umbrak can take it down, and Mookie is going to stay alive. But Flu is still in a good position here in front of the patio, going to get some damage onto Mr. Epic, but Mr. Epic is not afraid to get taken down, though. Fun's going to try and retaliate here, very quickly gets taken down by Mookie. So now it's up to Elicor, who's back on the regular stickies, putting out a cheeky little trap on the bush right towards the Pride Rocks. So if the rest of the team can slow things down as far as a diag push or anything, they have no heals, so they're going to be rushing aggressively here and could potentially catch a player if Elicor keeps eyes on that trap there. He does not kill him.
Yeah, like you always like feel like you're walking on eggshells. Like, oh my God, is he gonna fall for it? And the answer right here was no. Martin's gonna be on an Uber advantage. I think he's climbing Spire just to circumnavigate any forward hold. This is really smart, just preemptively countering it, basically. But it's not even there. But you know, I really like to see when a team does move like this, just preemptively, just completely countering a strat that like would make sense for the enemy team to use. But now they're just gonna have a big Uber advantage going through top left.
Viewers coming in, doing good work, taking down the sentry from Kradu. Stickies are being thrown all over the right side to slow down these players, and poor Mr. Epic tried to get onto the point, couldn't make it happen. Funds is also going to be able to pick up on Flu, while Kradu, now respawned on Scout, is going to be picking up Mookie. Frags on both sides. It's very tough for the rest of Ombrak and top 5 rocket to survive, but they do manage to get the Uber off, but unfortunately Hildreth hits a nice rocket, and oh, he gets off the point, Ombrak! Thankfully, Elicor is going to get a nice little sticky onto that. And the follow-up, actually no, Hildreth and them, they're backing up. They know they got the Uber force, they have 40 ad, they're going to be sitting very comfortably while Mookie is on Spy. I don't agree with this, with ad.
Yeah, that's not really what you want to do when you have an advantage. Having a Spy and an advantage is not that good. If he goes in very fast, I suppose it could work, but they could also just be an Uber fight and then he uncloaks. Like, you can make it work as a Spy in an Uber fight.
Yeah.
It's just, it's obviously not optimal, but there's ways to make it work.
And at 95%, they're ready to go. They need to use this as soon as they want to. They're getting in position at the top left, clearing out the stickies very carefully. And Neo gets taken down by Mookie. Very good initiation here for the rest of the team. And Mookie's going to get taken down by the accidental rocket air shot, you could say, from the sentry. Ombrak is very close, though. He's at 80%, trying to get healed up. He's surfing away very nicely, staying inside of spawn, gets the resupply. Elicor is also staying alive, getting eyes on players, and Korvik and Flu are doing so much work in this corner, able to pick up all these players, and it's just Hildreth in the lobby. Going to try and get to the health pack before getting pistoled down by Kradu on the winger. Mookie, the respawn as a Spy, the only player alive, is kind of in a good position here, but he's going to be backing off, playing defensively, waiting for the push into mid, because he needs to force the super off before they lose their mid and second.
Do you like Badlands? Because it feels like we're getting our money's worth of Badlands tonight.
Exactly.
Like, there's just so much back and forth in this Golden Cap round. Neither team are very good at actually just capping it out in last, but there's going to be an Uber in here coming out from top 5 rocket. They're going to try and see if they can catch anyone out, but they basically get no one. They got Mookie, but he basically just forced them. So they're going to get middle for it, but now they're going to be in an Uber disadvantage. And this is basically the seesaw situation where one team has an Uber advantage, but they're 1 point down. So they're going to use the Uber to get middle, and then the other team's going to back out and then use the Uber to get middle, and back and forth until one of the teams overextends or doesn't exit properly.
Exactly, and now getting in position is going to be Uber's going for a little bit of a high bomb. Does not have to go for a fast one, but he is aware of some potential player, and that is going to be Korbeck, who's going to be initiating here very shortly. He doesn't get the call out, and Mookie's going to get taken down. So this is cause for jumping in. He's going to get in at the right time. Good damage onto Martin. Going to be able to force out that Uber, and now they're going to have full Uber. Ombrak popped it off at roughly the same time, though, so this Uber advantage is not going to be working for them. Nice rocket from Flu, jumping in, taking down Funds with that conk move speed, and now with 3 players down, it is just Hildreth alive, throwing stickies desperately at his feet while his medic gets so low on health. Martin going to get the health pack and stay alive. Elikor starting the cap onto Spire, and now once again top5rocket are holding on to a nice little advantage and looking to hold on to this round and potentially cap out that extra point.
Yeah, it's not really an advantage of anything worth note here. Like, you could try to arrow build, but I think what they're trying to do here is to just try and basically farm the soldier some damage so you can get a banner so that they can do shenanigans, right? Like, there's different ways to use a banner. You can use, this is the Conqueror, so you can use it to just pop in, be really fast, and that's super scary, so the enemy will force really easily, and then you run back out, and then you haven't used your Uber. Then you go back in with Uber. Or you can just Uber in, and then you can pop the conk, and then you go in with increased move speed and heal, and then use it that way. So there's a lot of ways to do it, but before you do that, you need some damage to it so you actually have the banner.
Yeah, things are slowing down, but we do see once again another double heal play, and Mookie is not in position this time to go for a stab, and Mr. Epic is on sniper as well, so the double soldier play isn't going to catch anyone, but there's no one lower left to slow things down. In fact, there's only one soldier on Lowpander, and that's going to make the lower right area much stronger, and I hope they can take advantage of it while Ubers is now finally getting in position in the upper left side of his spawn to make sure nothing happens. No unfortunate push from the players that can easily sneak their way into last because there's no soldier watching that.
Yeah, Korbeck's actually going to jump in and all gets complete denied. Nice pipe there from Hildreth. Just takes him down and denies him. But that was a nice little jump in there by Korbeck. He saw his opportunity and he just went in. Didn't work out, but like he saw his stand. Oh my god, actually Hildreth overextending. That could be a really big deal. Yeah, like you can push off of this because there's going to be no stickies on the point. So you can just force people down in the low ground and take it. But right now they're not pushing on it, and I like how they're still looking for stickies even though the demo's dead. That's kind of cute. It's really heavily ingrained.
Man. That's such a misplay too. They had the numbers advantage. They could have just literally taken a scout through main and had their demo waiting at main. When the scout went to the point, they could have flashed him off and then had their soldiers maybe jump up top left or coordinate some span onto the sentry. And then while he's on the point, Elikor has all the freedom in the world to just shoot stickies near the point, and that could have been their victory there. But instead, they waited too long, and Mookie thankfully is going to get taken down, trying to pull something off onto Flu at the bottom of Spire, but it's not going to work. Really unfortunate that top5rocket couldn't capitalize on that demo pick because that was so huge.
Yeah, indeed. We do have a sniper in the game, right? Or am I? No, there was.
Oh, it's gone now. Epic is on scout, getting in position to potentially work his way out. He's checking for spies, I think, is the main thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Magnus. Oh my god.
Double scout! They might get this. No, they both get taken down. No follow-up on the soldier, but nice aggression from Blue is going to get in there. It's just Elikor alive. I think Elikor was the key factor in winning that push right there. They got both their scouts straight to the point, but they didn't get anyone to kill the scout and the soldier that just rushed in, and that would have been their cap. Very close. Ombrak solo on health, going to get forced off here with the Uber. Meeting up with Martin, who has the advantage on this push. He's going to be body blocking Ombrak, but Ombrak is still going to get out just in time. Meanwhile, over on the flank is Flu, who's making his way to the drop down. He actually has potential to go for a back cap here, but they're not going to be able to stop Spire because Kradu is the only one in position now. Mookie getting a lot of damage now, falling down, waiting for an arrow, but Neo is doing a lot of pressure here as well onto Martin, doing some good pistol work here. Martin on Pride Rocket to get taken out by the winger, and he's going to finally get retaliated by Mookie. But no medic is a huge deal because there's still 2 players behind, Flu and Kradu, but they're going to get pressured by both soldiers. They're not afraid of it, taking down him down in trash, and Kradu is just going to be rotating over to main. They have a huge advantage though, and they can use this to potentially take Spire.
Yeah, Hildreth's putting some pressure onto middle, or at least he was just looking in there and going, nope, not gonna bother funds. Also gonna do basically the exact same thing. He's just gonna pelt Korbeck, which is basically just a way for Korbeck to build Uber. Yeah, it's a really sizable advantage right now. Korbeck's actually gonna be pretty banged up in the house, but again, it's gonna be arrowed, and they're basically just building at this point. So Just how do they actually take in this Uber right now? Like, or how do they do this push? It looks like they're just going to go into choke, or just the Devil Man into choke, and the rest are going to go through resub. And Korvac going down here, that's really annoying, because that means that Mookie in resub is going to be uncontested.
And Mookie has the Conqueror with the rest of his team in drop down, so they can work together with the area of effect here. Now they're going to be dropping down, taking the rest of second. They have the Conch popped, and they have their Uber ready to go at any moment, but Hildreth might get out of position here. No, he's just setting up a sticky trap. Not going to get caught out. He's playing much more careful, much tighter with his team, and Flu going to be able to peek forward. And the Conqueror is popped off. Here it is. Go for it.
Oh, he jumped in very aggressively, and now he's dead, so he basically just uses it to get a better bomb, and that's kind of a bummer, right? Like, you kind of want to send in your other soldier, but I guess he's also building a banner. Luxury problems, I suppose.
Yeah, that was more like a bummer than a bomber. Martin gets taken down, or doesn't get taken down. Flu gets taken down, and Martin's going to be staying alive. Barely taking any damage there. He's going to be healing players up, and it's going to be the sack wave, the back and forth, the ebb and flow of the roamer life. But I do think Elikor is stuck on sticky bomb launcher? Yes, he is. Quickie bomb launcher.
Yeah, like you can definitely just run out of ammo in big spam situations. Mookie is actually taking the consequence of this big stalemate, and Dawn's Spy, he's going to be in middle, and he's going to do the same thing that he's been doing before, but just make his way in there, just sit while recharging his cloak and dagger, and just call everything out. So right now he's calling it the snipers and choke pushing forward, and you can just see he'll just spamming it like crazy, even though he can't see what's going on.
Flu's in a nice little perch here on top of the little station lights.
Yeah,
no one's peeking too far forward though, so he can't really get any spam or call anything out. He just knows they're close. They're playing really tight around the corner, and Mookie finally getting in position here. Neo's not having any of it. He's so antsy right now. He's looking around. Mookie's just gonna be calling things out for his team, and with the lockdown they have in all their areas, the only way this can work is if they have a soldier just miraculously bomb in through choke without taking any damage, and then get some pressure onto Ombrak.
Yeah, we saw Kratos try to maybe rotate around, but he went back to choke.
Oh, he's in closet. They know he's there though. I think Neo did touch him.
Oh,
and,
did he?
There it is. Kratos gonna be taken down. And the follow-up! He's pissing him down! He's down with the Latron!
Wow. That's such a good play by Mookie. Really great. But yeah, that's going to be a soldier dropping. It's going to be Lowpander just charging in right now, getting everyone down except for Korvac. He's in respawn, but man, what a play by Mookie. Big spy main.
So crucial. And that's I totally agree with that. You're getting pistoled down by a spy, you think, okay, my team's gonna kill him. He's right there, but at the same time there's a lot of action happening at choke. Kratos just died, and a follow-up happened on the other player. I think it was Kratos died, and then Flu died, and that was really tough for them because now they have less fragging power, and so Ombrak thinks he can milk it and hold on to it while the rest of his team pushes in, but unfortunately he dropped there, and now sitting at actually pretty even Ubers thanks to the force that happened. Ombrak's not too far behind. They could have this Uber in time.
Yeah, that's actually incredible. Still, like Lowpander, they did get 2 points off of it, so it's not like it didn't do anything, but it didn't do as much as you'd think. And now we're just pushing into last again. They're gonna go into bottom right, and they actually take down Korvac immediately. Elikor's so close to dying, but no! Postcast is gonna run onto the point, and that's gonna be it. Finally, Lowpander to take it. What a back and forth match this was. And they only get 1 point for all their trouble. Well, they get 2 points overall, but only 1 point for the golden cap.
Yeah, so much work for that final golden cap to close out Pro Lands. And we'll be moving on to our next map very shortly, as soon as we get some logs up and check out these stats to see what really stood out and what kind of felt lackluster in this match. But overall, I think it comes down to top5rocket. Their disadvantages weren't ideal. When they had advantage, they didn't push on it. They didn't capitalize on it. And there was one push they went into last where, you know, Lowpander got the Uber in time.
Yeah, they had like 50%, and you were just like literally yelling at them to go, and they just didn't go in time. So that's really unfortunate. Like, that's definitely like something. I don't think it can be argued that that was a mistake or not. Like, oftentimes, I like Ombrak dropping to Mookie there at the end. Like, you could argue that's a mistake, but you could also say like, yeah, no, he played it right. You know,
that's no medic pops there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You have to hope your team is doing it. But if he was like, if you're really careful and you know, like there was too much action going on to make a decision. But if you like freeze frame that moment, all right, we've just lost 2 players and there's a spy on me. let's pop since they're probably close to choke and we could force them off pretty easily. But there was so much action going on. There's no way Nomadic can react quickly enough when you know your team's there to fight the spy. But let's talk about these logs since we have them up now. And big Ubers with 317 DPM.
Yeah, and that's not even the best stat. His best stat is air shots, where he has 10.
10 air shots.
Yeah. Like, that's the important one, right? Like, who cares about damage and kills? And he actually has a negative KD. It's kind of interesting to see. He's usually very good with his KD, but this time around, I guess the scouts were taking his kills or something. But either way, still a lot of damage. Did really good work. And then Flu also went 28 for 21 and had almost 300 DPM. So both pockets having really good games, and then I think most notably Hildreth, like way at the bottom there in damage. Like you mentioned it, that you didn't think he was quite up to snuff, not really playing his best.
Yeah, I hate saying that because he's such a nice guy and he's so smart, but yeah, his performance was just not enough. It doesn't compare to what Elikor had. When you look at Elikor, he's 23 and 13. That's a great stat line for your demo, especially when you're still putting out that 280 DPM, top damaging behind your soldier. Like those are the stats you want to see on your demo. And unfortunately, Hildreth thankfully he didn't die as much as I thought he was, and that's good. He still had a good stat line overall, but the damage just wasn't there, and that mostly accounts to, I think, the nature of Badlands Last. If you're in a stalemate, you're gonna be falling short in damage output.
Yeah,
when you have Stickies on last and waiting for a kill or trying to peek.
I think the most interesting stat I can see is that both teams basically had the same amount of damage. Top 5 Rocket had 300 damage more out of 40,000, right? So that's nothing. That doesn't really matter, right?
That's literally one soldier that died extra.
Yeah,
a
right.
fully healed soldier.
But they had 117 kills to Lowpander's 95 kills. So there's a huge difference there. So that's
not a good stat line. That talks about the back cap we saw right at the beginning. This stat line, this match goes so differently if that back cap didn't happen, because these stats tell the story of top 5 Rocket had 22 more kills.
Yeah.
That should equate to at least one round win extra if the enemy team only gets 95, and the back caps were a huge part of that. That first round, there was a back cap that happened, I think, on one of the Spires or the second, when players were pushing out. I'm probably remembering a different game, but the back caps are a big thing. When you see a stat line like this, the only reason a team wins is because of a back cap.
Yeah. Like, back caps are so powerful, and yeah, it was just it was the first point they got as well, so it probably also built a bunch of momentum. So you can't really understate how important it is to get those. Yeah, like identical damage, but a huge difference in kills. Definitely tells you something about like top 5 Rocket using their damage
not
better.
capitalizing. That's the key word
also
there. When you have a numbers advantage, when you have an Uber advantage, you miss out on the capitalization, and as a result, you miss out on capping last. Like between that back cap and that one huge advantage they had, where they Ubered and Martin still only had it about 80%. But the fight took too long thanks to Neo on Pyro. No, not Neo on Pyro. The Pyro play, I can't remember who it was. And the Sentry slowing things down, and Martin just got his Uber in time and was able to defend that last. So we're going to be moving things over to Goalie Wash for our second map in this best of 2 EU style. Once again, how do you feel? I hate dragging Hildreth through the mud again, but this is a demo-centric mid, where getting to mid early or having the advantage as a demo man is so crucial here. How do you think that's going to come into effect with a powerhouse like Elikor?
Like, it's a very good mid for demo man, but it's also a mid where I feel like pipes aren't really the thing that makes demo man powerful on this middle.
No, not at all.
You know, like it's getting there fast, having good positioning, and just putting some really well-placed stickies to like deny their scouts a bit or hit them a lot in big door. It's like a lot. It comes down to stickies and controlling the middle with stickies a lot, I feel. So I don't think the fact that Elikor has a lot better pipe aim, I don't think it's gonna be that important on middle in particular.
Yeah.
Like overall, like it's probably gonna be a difference, but yeah, on middle, I'm not too worried about it. I think I played like Hildreth a couple of times on his middle, and he's always super annoying. So I'm not too worried about that. So I can't remember if they're usually good on Goalie Wash or not, but
This is
suspected.
Mookie, and I got a nice little rundown of how Lowpander functions with Mookie at these mids, and thanks to Ombrak himself. And I think that's actually going to be in their favor now that I'm thinking about it. With Ombrak playing on top 5 Rocket, very familiar with this style of Lowpander running heavy to mid or a sniper in the doorway at big door. It's going to be very hard for I think it's going to be hard for Lowpander to make the best of it. Even though they have the good players to make it work, and Mookie is very strong, I think with Ombrak calling things out, having their team prepared for whatever Mookie's going to be dishing out, they're going to have the advantage at mids, I think.
Yeah, top 5 Rocket, they're pretty good at preparing, and I definitely one of the things that they're going to be like having research is basically like what are we going to do if there's going to be a heavy on mid, if there's a sniper on mid, if there's a spy on mid, like different things, like because usually the thing with having like a heavy on middle is that if you just take the high ground really aggressively and just like secure one side and just spam out the heavy, then the heavy is trash, just does nothing, right? So you just have to play it properly. Whereas if you like bomb in a single soldier into the heavy, and and then the heavy just takes him out, and then he can just kind of snowball the middle out of control. Like if you play them like that, then you run the risk of the heavy just winning the mid for them if they happen to run it. So you have to limit yourself a little bit based off of what you might expect him to do.
So we're all players waiting in server, ready to go. Ombrak is egging on Lowpander to ready up. They have all their players ready. I heard a little noise that tells me someone hit the ready up button on their sign. Yeah, the
yeah, someone stepped in a pond. Noise.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just up to Lowpander now to follow through, because Kradu is finished and it's getting late.
Yeah, you don't have the guts to ready up. And then, oh, we do. And now we've readied up. They've goaded them successfully, and we are about to start. Looks like we are going to see Mookie on Sniper for the very first middle, and Kradu. So both teams are probably going to play it slow here. I think it could come down to the demo man who can control it better. Hilder's going to be in the low ground, and so is Elikor. So basically, identical middle so far. Both teams taking their own side. I actually see a soldier on each side, and Fun's being taken down by Kradu. Now both soldiers coming in here from top 5 Rocket, just completely locking everyone out of big door. Neo does go down, but so far this is a 1 mid for top 5 Rocket.
And Ubers is actually in position here. He's going to get onto Ombrak, getting a nice little thing on him, but he's got helium in his sneakers, and he's going to be able to surf that away very nicely. That internal medic response. There's a soldier bombing. Let me just crouch jump, and oh look, I'm flying. And now some initiation from Korvac is actually going to get him killed, and Flu is going to also get followed by Mr. Epic. Elikor is taken down by Hildreth. This is an incredible drop down play at the choke to slow things down, take down these players, and Kradu's still on that sniper. Not going to be a factor here, and Neo's going to get cleaned up by Mr. Epic, and it's Ombrak with Uber. He's going to have to pretty much abandon his player, but now he's going to get forced here in lobby unless he can juke.
Look at this.
They do have forward spawns, and that's actually going to be really well timed. He's going to hawk up the Uber off, rotate around to the shutter. Nice rocket onto Martin. He's going to be able to force that off. Korvac is going to get taken down, though, as actually Ombrak somehow surfed onto the battlements. What happened? He was on the ground, and now he's up here, ready to heal up his players, and now it's going to be Flu taking so much damage, able to clean up onto Ubers, but Ombrak stays alive. What an incredible play from this medic.
Yeah, he just like grabbed the soldier and said, you and I, we can toss this guy. Then they went away. But I couldn't help it. All right. And they're going into last. There's a slight Uber advantage coming out for Lowpander, but I don't think they can really push on it. They do have a sniper, so they're probably just going to slow it all down and just wait for the pick.
Yeah, things are slowing down, thankfully, and Mookie's actually going to be able to pick up Kradu, so no engineer means the gun can be spammed out very easily. Uber's going to get eyes on it, start spamming it down, it gets taken down easily. Mookie charging up another shot, but it's not the Machina. So it's not going to be doing full damage, it's just going to be doing 150 at max.
Just the constant pressure, and they've even sent people into the water just trying to get them out of sync. But actually, look at that Frontis. I don't think he was actually called. He got a lot of time onto that. That makes any push just really dangerous, right? Because now if a soldier jumps in, he can go for the point or he can go for the medic. So that makes it a lot more unpredictable. And the soldier is about to go in. They're actually going to Uber in now, and Ombrak is dead. I completely missed that, but soldier onto the point, gets Flu, he's gonna stand on it, and there you go, that's the pick. Billy, how did the medic die?
Mookie charged a shot, walked through river, and shot Ombrak in the butt.
In the butt, alright. Well, that works. That's, that's a good way to drop an Uber. And Mookie's just gonna stay on sniper, and so is Kredu. I suppose it worked out for both teams, right? Like,
Yeah.
like even though Lowpander got pushed out, they still won it overall. So let's see, they're just both gonna be very passive. Who's gonna jump up and immediately get body shot down? But the quarterback is actually gonna take down Fun. That's gonna be the first pick, and then Mr. Epic going down as well. That makes it no scouts at all, and that's so uncomfortable in middle. So they're just gonna back out completely.
Once again, Korvac doing a very fast roll, able to get himself to drop down. And that was the key in the last mid-fight. He was able to follow up very closely behind Flu, and actually going to be trading with Mookie, as Soldier gets some nice stickies at his feet. And the cap is going to be starting on second, while Flu is currently playing in River. The rest of Lowpander is completely out. They're setting up for last. They know they don't have any reason to stay in second. They can just turtle this last because it's tricky.
Yeah, and this is basically the exact same situation that we saw before, but this time around it's going to be Kredu. Going to see if he can make any kind of play happen, and we have Martin just desperately trying not to pop. Alright, this is so uncomfortable holding last here as a medic, because you just know everything's just basically up to you. Like you have to go down to 2 HP and just have the balls to not pop. And there's just no two ways about it. Like, you just have to be brave. The Creator's going to find his first target. He's going to miss it as well. So he's going to rotate around and see what he can do. But I really liked how you saw Lowpander actually take people into the water, because that opened up so much chaos that they eventually allowed Mookie to get the pick.
Creator gonna get taken out by Ubers. Very nice peek by him, and Creator was so far away trying to get that cheeky little angle that as a result he couldn't really get the shot onto Ubers, who was just right in his face, able to get that shot. And now we do see Mookie taking control of River, getting eyes on Korvac, who's also keeping tabs on what's happening, while the rest of the players are holding close to Big Door. And it's really hard for Lowpander to push out. There's stickies, there's players all in front of the door. They're trying to get a fully charged shot from Mr. Epic, but it's not going to connect with anything. A nice little double. Not really a double, but a shot through the body and in the head, thanks to the Machina, able to take down Ubers. And now they have the number advantage, but it's so quick on the respawn that they're barely going to get into lobby before he's respawned.
And they did kill a full banner, so that's actually it's more impactful than just the kill. You know, like Ubers had been building a lot of banner. I'm pretty sure he either had it or it was very close. So he's gonna be reset. And actually, Mookie is also on a banner. He's on the Conqueror. So they're just building away, and Mookie will actually get a kill as well on Korvac here, and that's probably like half a banner right there. Is it 600 damage you need to build a Conqueror and a battalion? It's something like that, at least.
Yeah, it's 600, you're right. It might be different for one of them, but I can't remember which one. But 600 is the default, I'm pretty sure, for the buff banner, and then one of the other ones for sure, and maybe the other one's just different.
Yeah, buff banner
600 is pretty tough.
Yeah. Like, yeah, the buff banner is like 800 damage or something. It's really difficult to build.
No banners once again on the side of Lowpander. Kredu is down though. They will take down the sentry, but it's only going to slow things down and force them to switch off. They actually have a player in position right now while he's cloaked. And hopefully, maybe Korvac can shine as he rotates over to the other side. Calls out positions. He's actually going to get into a good position here, potentially.
Oh!
Walks into the face of Mookie and gets taken down. So there goes the espionage. No sneakiness going on. It's going to be actually almost all of top5rocket backing out, giving a little bit too much room for Hildreth and Ubers here as they're getting a position. And actually, Blue is going to be walking forward, getting some nice damage onto Hildreth, but he's not afraid. He's going to be putting some stickies down, and Ubers is going to be able to pick up that frag onto Flu. So now, Mookie in a huge position right now, as he's going to drop down from upper. He clears the stickies for his team, and that's actually going to enable them to walk through the shutter. So instead of going for the play, he's actually going to clear it out for the rest of his team to walk forward, but they don't push out. They're so close, and now they're going to get pressured here. And
sort about Mookie is actually just shooting down. That was really close. Ombek's on 50 HP. That's where it goes. And Uber has now popped his banner as well. Yeah, he's just going to walk outside now. Ombek going down to the snipe. Mr. Epic getting it, and then just Mookie coming in from up top. Just destroying, just crushing. That was 4 kills right there from Mookie, just shooting down the players with the banner and sniping the medics. So just a beautiful concert of complete ownage coming out from Lowpander.
Not going to quite get the drop on the respawns, though. Everyone's going to respawn, and they know there's a sniper, so they're all going to backspawn. They're not even going to take it. Korvac might play for it. He did touch the shutter just a second.
I'm going to laugh if he dies.
Oh, okay. He backspawned, so we're good now. We're good. But the rest of the team are now rotating over. Top 5 taking their high ground at the moment with their heals, while they have their sniper in forward, which is going to be a very crucial moment here very shortly.
Mookie is still on banners. I'm like one of the soldiers just used a banner. I'm pretty sure it was Uber's, but I'm not sure. Flu has gone down as well, so I think I'm gonna see Lowpander just push in here very aggressively, try to just bully out the enemy team and then just take the point. Also, they do have an Uber advantage, so if the medic gets too far forward, then he's just gonna get Ubered on and die. So he will back off very cleverly, as he should, and it's gonna be an even Uber instead with a sniper on Mr. Epic here. See if he can make the magic shot.
Yeah, Ubers was the one with the battalion's backup. It's Mookie who's gone the Conqueror, so he could have most of a charge ready, but he is working his way towards water. He's very deep, but decides to back off and play around anyone who tries to peek a river a little too aggressively. Gonna get some nice shots onto Flu there, and work his way back down. He's gonna meet up with Korvac, who might get the better of it. It's a nice little life there. 1-for-1, but Flu is also down, and now with no soldiers on the side of top 5 Rocket, it looks like a great opportunity to push for Lowpander.
Yeah, Funds is in the water again. It seems like Lowpander just really likes to send him in there and try to get people to go out of position while Mr. Epic is sniping. And there we go, Funds once again just getting onto the point, putting a lot of time. It's just him against a single scout. Okay, finally the other scout comes in and helps. But you know, I think the real target there, like the real deal with that whole push by Funds was to just draw people down to give Mr. Epic a distraction to actually get a shot off.
But Omrak knows better than that because he was standing right behind the pillar, perfectly still, not letting any eyes get on him, and as a result, nothing could happen with it. Flu is going to get taken down here, so once again, a soldier pick. Not going to be enough to push on, but they also had 2 soldier picks, and they didn't make anything happen with it, so they're just going to be sending Mookie into water right now. And with one less soldier to distract, or at least go down there, Korvac is going to be kind of out of position here. He's kind of juggled here.
Wow,
and there it is, the cat, just like that. Is Uber's
so
running the pain train?
Yeah, for sure.
That would explain why that cat in almost 2 seconds.
Yeah, so just once again, just sending people into the water, just putting pressure on that way, just really paying off right now for Lowpander. It seems like that's the golden ticket to breaking this last hole. That's going to make it 2-0 right now in their favor. And there's about 20 minutes left for top 5 Rocket to catch up.
Now we do see Korvac not going for the fast rollout here, and it's going to be Mookie going very quick, trying to get some frags there, but no, it's going to be Lowpander crumbling at the power of Elikor as Ubers is getting arrowed for his life. Nice little rocket on Neo, but Neo is just a happy little bunny scurrying around. Gonna be able to pick up those frags, and now with the medic alive, Martin's gonna be able to get to last, get the Uber in time. The respawns are up, but they're gonna get second and potentially lobby unless Lowpander can get into position here.
Yeah, it looks like they're not really interested in it. They're just sticking up some basically last point areas. Just a classic. They're just gonna be waiting for it. Also, Kradu and Mr. Epic are both on sniper. So I'm a little bit hyped to see this sniper duel. Mr. Epic is a very good sniper. It's kind of what he's known for more than anything else, I'd say. Then Kradu is also, he's obviously more of an up-and-comer, but at least at LAN I saw him just be super good on sniper. So, you know, he might not even be hacking. Like, he could do it on LAN. Maybe.
Very good aggression from Mookie, gonna take out Kradu right away. He's gonna get retaliated by Flu, who's gonna be backing up, but a follow-up from Mr. Epic is gonna probably get the snipe off onto Corridor. Korvac gets taken down. Very nice little no-scope there. Hip fire. Able to take him down, and now there's 2 soldiers, or a soldier and a sniper down, and Flu could potentially get taken down. Nice little pipe spam from the roll. He's gonna try and clean him up. Finally, this Sticky does take him down. Hildreth, very good aggression there, able to open the way for Funds, who's now getting into position, trying to pepper his way through this battlement. There's a lot of stickies and a couple pipes going around the corner. Ubers is going to spot it out. They're going to be carefully walking around it and getting some good damage onto Elikor, who's so distracted. It's going to force the Uber off, and Omrak is now in a really bad position with using this Uber, and they're only going to be able to pick up Funds. Martin pops his Uber. I think he tried to save Funds there. That's the only reason I can think he popped, because now there's no Funds, and Martin's on last with no Uber.
Yeah, Korvac is threatening with the back cap, but no, there's enough players on last that he's not going to be able to do it. He doesn't suicide or anything. It looks like they might just be going for a drive push here. Top 5 Rocket, they know they need to get in there. Korvac's going to take down the demo man. No stickies on it. That means that they're actually going to have to stand on the point to block it. The soldiers on it. That's going to be it. Great push in right now. That was really well pushed by top 5 Rocket, just baiting people onto the point.
Very solid stuff from these gamers. We'll be going into this next mid, and top 5 doing a very good job to bring it back around. With 17 minutes left, this is good back and forth action, and I want to see them hold on to this momentum as we do see Elikor getting to the choke point. Gonna getting an early sticky onto Mookie, so he's not even gonna have crit heals to go for a clean bomb here, and the other soldier as well. So now both soldiers on Lowpander are kind of low going into this mid fight, and somehow Mookie still gets a nice little double rocket. Do 2 directs, takes down Neo, and a follow-up bomb is gonna put so much pressure on Martin at the choke point, but he's gonna clean up. Elacor takes down Hildreth though, and is also getting juggled himself. He might get taken down. Finally does. Nice little aggression from Mr. Epic, who's pushing himself around the corner. Follow from Ubers is going to be putting more rocket spam around this corner, and it's going to be Lou backing up. But Ubers is still in position, doing so much damage with these rockets. Not afraid at all, and they're going to be taking second, almost uncontested.
I felt like Lowpander, they were just all on 100 to 50 HP there on that middle. It was just very little that could have gone the other way, and that would have been a very different mid. But as it was, Lowpander, they just kind of bluffed their health and moved forward as a unit. And then when you almost die, you're not dead. Fun fact of the day. Once again, is going to threaten the water. That's been really successful so far. And they do bait people forward and get some free damage out of it at the very least. And the center gun's going to go down as well. So just threatening in. Soda jumps in onto the medic. The scout is in the water. And Soda's on the water as well. Wow, they cap it out while people were jumping the medic. Dude, this is just so good. This the whole using the point to pressure and then distracting for the medic. It works every time.
Yeah, unfortunately, Korvac was in position to fight the scout. He heard the scout call. Funds was going water, so he was getting in position, waiting for an arrow. He got the arrow, but Funds was still on the point. So yeah, he got on the point, and then the follow-up bomb was able to finish off the cap. So that's how you do goalie.
Yeah, like Uber's basically denied him from going on to the point. So really well played there. It looks like Korvac's going to go down immediately as he jumps up very aggressively. Both teams are basically trying to take the left side here. So Ombrak just died. Did he just disconnect? No. It looked like his suicide. I don't know what happened there. It looked very weird, but wow, Mr. Epic hitting some really big meat shots there at the end to take that middle. Yeah, what happened to Ombrak? He just stood still and then died, like killed himself or something.
I wasn't really focused because there was so much action going on right on top of that elbow, including that cheeky little melee kill from Neo onto Mookie. But thankfully, it was, what's his face? Flu, who was able to get a nice frag onto Martin at the very end of it, able to equalize these Ubers out, so they aren't going to be losing outright to a full advantage pushing into this last. But they are getting some other classes in position for some shenanigans. But he took a little bit of damage from that rocket jump that Flu just made.
Yeah, like oftentimes you don't notice it, like when you do a rocket jump like that. But you're not going to notice it to hit a spot. But he's standing on stairs. Stairs is a really dangerous place to stand because people like to walk up and down stairs because of like rocket bugs and different shifting perspectives. Like it's just really strong to be on a stairway in TF2. So good players will just kind of automatically be drawn to them and walk up and down them for like basically no reason other than it's just generally good. But Soda jumps in, and then the spy even gets Ubered here. He gets stolen. Oh, that's pretty funny. But Ubers actually did all the hard work there.
Brings back memories of Doug flashing a spy as he kills poor Numlocked, or it might have been Cadus, one of the two's demos.
Oh yeah, Doug.
Memories of that. But we're seeing a nice little Uber from Martin getting forced off here. Funds is going to be walking forward, trying to get some good damage onto 1v1 against Neo. Neo is doing so good about dodging it. It's just going to be Flu spawning up. He can jump around the corner in time, and a nice little initiation from Kradu is going to be able to stop the point for just a moment, but Ubers is going to finish off the cap, and that's going to be 4-1. It's looking very desperate now. With only 13 minutes left, I think they might be able to close this out with only 2 rounds to go, and that'll be the end of Gully Bosch.
Yeah, it's of course best like win difference 5, so they do need to get up to 6 to actually get this. But yeah, it's looking very good for top 5 rock. Oh no, sorry, for Lowpander right now. They just like it really helps being able to push last effectively. I feel like that's incredibly obvious to say, but like that's the big difference right now. They're actually going to run a heavy to mid, and he's on the brass piece, so he's basically a sentry right now. Just literally standing still, and top 5 rocket, they're not taking the high ground either, so I feel like this is a losing situation right now for them. Because it's just this dumb basic heavy down there just as a sentry gun, but he's just standing still, just getting sniped by a sniper. There we go. Martin actually going down to Kradu as well. Neo's on a 3k. He's just chasing. I don't know what that play was for Mookie. He's going to have to explain that one to me.
Yeah, that was what we call in the world of esports C9 lol. That's a throw if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it definitely. I'm sure there's some sort of master plan in there that you're just not smart enough to understand.
Yeah, he's
Which,
200
to be fair,
IQ. I'm
not smart
so.
enough either. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 200 IQ, not me.
Yeah, yeah, too much of an intellectual for us to handle. It's going to be an even Ubers in unbreakable. No, okay, he's actually going to pop on the advantage. Nice. I was getting worried there. They're going to send Neo on to the point. He absorbs all the stickies. He's still on the point. Demoman's going to go down. This is looking extremely good for top 5 rocket, but they are crumbling a little bit. But a few good arrows and some nice tactical retreating here. It looks like that's going to be just what the Doctor ordered. They're pressing the point really heavily right now, but they're not actually getting kills. Finally, Kratos going to contribute a little bit here, but they're not pressing the point anymore. Man, is it going to be enough? The Demoman's jumping in. The Soldier has spawned. It's just the Soldier. Elikor is on 5 HP. Oh, he gets taken down, and here comes Funds. Oh my god, I can't believe they didn't get that. They were just a bit too slow, not getting the kills in time.
And Kratos even had the SMG out, so he was getting the damage out to clean up those literally like 15, 20 HP players. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. Martin is going to be spawning, and it's both sides are actually even on Ubers now. So we're not going to be seeing any advantages to work with. But with this cat time, they actually could literally just do what Lowpander's been doing this whole game and just send someone onto the point. Jump them in through river. Blue is getting into position right there, but it's going to be backing off while the rest of the team, they're so far back. They're so afraid of holding forward right now, and that's actually going to be working against them while this decap is happening.
Yeah, Kratos just going to do the spy thing where he's just walking really slowly, and, you know, nobody expects the second spy. It's one of those other perfect plays where they can never ever fail. They can only entertain. I think that's my very positive way of looking at it. The bad news is that they have to be pretty quick about it. Like they can't sit around for 3 minutes and do nothing, because then they won't have time to actually win. But at least one of the spies is now in position. It's gonna cook up. Korvac's on the point. Oh, he just got hit by a rocket. I'm not sure Mookie actually spotted it, but the fun's going down. All right, that's the first spy down. But I think Korvac unfortunately was also spotted. But yeah, it might just be that they assume it's the same spy. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, a little interesting with this double spy thing. Spies on sneaky, double spy, says Fun. So they know there's two spies, hilariously enough. And they have a pyro. They're totally clearing this out, and Korvac is just not in good position. He's gonna be waiting for Kratos to open the door for him. So they're going off the double spy. This is not the meta, boys.
Yeah, this is like, it's breaking the spectator config. Like, you can only select one spy conveniently. Like, the second spy is just out of reach, basically, for the config. So, they're playing so off-meta that it's breaking the config of Gemm. Poor guy, man. It's not easy sometimes. Like, there's enough problems for as a producer already. Oh, Mr. Epic's gonna go down. He was trying to be a bit frisky there, but doesn't quite make it happen. So they could actually just go in here and send in a suicide. This would be a very good position to do it in, but right now they're not really being too successful. They actually get down the NG as well, and then losing Neo, but they have finally Ubered in.
Ubers are forced off on both sides. Working their way in through the lobby is going to be Ubers. Finally, a little bit of action here going in here. Does not manage to follow up on it. Mookie doing some good damage here from the lower lobby, trying to catch on any players, but the rest of top 5 rocket are holding on to it very nicely, rotating around. We're going to be seeing Flu also in a good position here to potentially catch out some players, but no, he decides to back off with his soldiers. And now we're in a reset with actually almost a small advantage, almost 20%. But it's almost not enough.
Creator going for the hero shot. Oh, Medicare running around the pole just or behind the bar, just in time to. And then eventually Creator goes down. And that's kind of what happens when you go for a hero shot and you don't hit it. You just basically fed. Soldier's actually going to get Mookie down, but Funge will just dive in and get the revenge.
Very good play there from Funds, especially getting out alive, because that's a key part of it. Because the more of your team that dies, the easier it is for, you know, the numbers to be easier to pressure any entrance, get someone in for free, and potentially force a fight that is unfavorable for Lowpander in this position. So Fun staying alive there. Very good job. It'll pick up onto that soldier.
We have no off class right now, and I don't think we have a banner either from top 5 rocket. So I think they're just getting ready to. Okay, Elikor goes down to a pyro of all things. Fun's gonna try to fight the soldier. He will get back out, but there's no off classes right now for top 5 rocket. So that kind of tells me that they're either going to go for like a soldier suicide, or they're just going to push in and try to repush. You know, because they have limited time to work with.
Right now they do have Mr. Epic on Sniper, getting eyes on River, trying to prevent the soldier from doing anything, but Flu is going to try and get a buff here, but he doesn't get an opportunity to peek his way in. He's so close to making something happen here, but it's just not opening up for him. And now the rest of the team are getting healed up in River. They have their demo man back. Elikor staying alive. They have sent a player underneath, and nobody's quite on the point. They're sending actually Quickie Bomb Launcher, which is going to be slowing things down and clearing the stickies, and Hildreth is going to be trying to make something happen while Kradu is getting in position still. The deck goes off, and now Kradu has a little bit of freedom here to go in, but he does spot out Uber sitting on top of the point and able to cause a little bit of havoc here. Now Funz is going to be rushing underneath, spots out the scout. Surely he can win this 1v1, but no, good damage.
Oh. He was close.
Funz gets taken down.
Yeah, like they are trying, but I feel like they're trying too slowly. Like, oh my god, Martin actually gets hit by a Quickie Bomb Launcher, goes down to about 24 HP. But so far he's not buckling under the pressure. Korvac's even gonna jump in. He gets Ubers down to 4 HP. And yeah, both teams have now exchanged 2 players. And top5rocket there, once again, they are doing things, but they're not committing. And now finally they are going to commit. It's gonna be a much better Uber coming out here from Lowpander, but I think, yeah, as long as Ombra can get out, they can definitely try a repush here. And here it comes. There's Quickie Bomb Launchers. It looks like it's launched in there, but he's still alive. So it's just going to be a complete clusterfuck on the point. Everyone's just diving it. And it's actually looking really good for top5rocket. Just actually pushing is working here. Just the demo man. Just Hildreth. Can he do it? No,
he's not Cadus.
No. I mean, to be fair, Cadus probably couldn't have held it in that situation either. But yeah, you definitely use some magic pipes and stickies there to do it. But yeah, 2 to 4 and 5 minutes remaining. This is doable. This is doable.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be tying things up and once again giving themselves another point. The best case scenario, of course, would be, you know, winning 3 rounds in a row right now, but that's very unlikely. Second best case scenario is getting 2 rounds and then, you know, they've already earned their points. They basically won 1 map in the course of this whole series. And now in this mid fight, we do see Korvac going to go for a reverse, or the regular drop down, not the reverse drop down play. And there is a sniper in the face of Mookie, who's trying to make something happen here. Does get taken down by Korvac, and now the rest of the Lowpander is currently sitting in their choke. Gonna get followed up very nicely by Korvac, who's crabbed himself 3 kills total in the course of his life, and Uber's gonna get taken down by a nice arrow from Ombrak. It is just Martin alive, healing up, or sorry, excuse me, Funz is alive. I thought that was a scout chasing Martin. But no, Funz is a friend.
Yeah, it's Kritzkrieg on Ombrak.
Oh, yes.
That's definitely going to change the dynamic here. It's basically going to be even Ubers, but it's a Kritzkrieg, and I don't think, like, unless they actually spotted it, like, you don't expect a team to run crits to mid on Golly Watch. It's kind of weird. It's really easy for a man to get bomb. So that's going to be unusual. So if they get this first crit sticky to land, they're going to be golden. They might even go for a soldier. Not sure. They're in Riverside right now. But if Martin pops this, they're going to have to retreat out and then build the Uber, or the crit screed, sorry, and then go back in with advantage. But no, here it comes.
There it is. The crit is popped.
Oh.
It doesn't manage to get anyone, but it does force off the Uber because Martin does not want to deal with all that shenanigans. There are a lot of crit stickies on the point here, going to get cleared off, thankfully. Flu is still sitting underneath, trying to get some pressure onto Funz here, who might get the better he does. And now with Neo going down,
Epic runs into a crit sticky. There's just some stickies still lying around. Oh my god, Funz goes down as well. Elikor is just completely carrying this push. Like, he doesn't give a damn, man. He's just going in there and going ham. But eventually he will back off. But now they can build a crits advantage, but they've actually somehow ended up at a disadvantage with the crit streak.
That's because Martin is utilizing the 8% per arrow building. This is actually broken. Like, I've always known that it builds faster, but I never knew it was as high as 8% from a single arrow. That is ridiculous. And now they have Uber before they even have Kritzkrieg. This is unheard of.
Yeah.
Valve, fix, please.
Yeah. Luckily, there's a backup plan, which is Korvac, who's gone spy. He's sitting underneath. He's basically in the spy spot right now. But here you go. The Kritzkrieg gets popped out, and everyone just evaporates, which plays perfectly into Korvac's hands. All right, this is the classic. Just completely wipe them, and then leave everyone to push, and then the spy backcaps last. This is perfectly played.
Mookie's just waiting very patiently inside there, and now he's actually going to be initiating with the pistol here.
Oh my god.
Getting a little bit of time on the point, but it's not going to be enough. They're slowing things down enough, and Korvac gets taken down. So now with that numbers advantage, small Uber advantage, they need to work their way in without dying to any traps from Elikor. But they should know better than that. There is a sticky trap right around the choke, though. But they're playing carefully. They don't want to push in the mid. They know they can't. Even though they have the numbers advantage, they know they can't. So now Ombrak and company are working their way through the big door. It's a full 5-man wrap, and nobody's at choke. And Ubers is suspicious that there is, so he's just going to be waiting there, and Neo's going to get taken down, so this fight is not looking good for them. But Kradu is also behind, getting up top here, but Flu gets taken down by Pickle Funds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bad news here is like they kind of have to keep on pushing. Kratos still behind, and there's 2 minutes remaining, and they have to get 2 points. So they can't really back off for too long. And actually, funds will go down to Kratos. So Kratos doing some work here. So that's gonna leave an opportunity for top 5 rockets to just move in here. They're gonna have to push very soon. Elko's just gonna go in there and do his thing and do a bunch of damage. But yeah, they have to go. There we go. They finally Uber out. Gonna force out Uber and jump a soda in behind, while the rest of them scramble to get through choke here. So actually, Lowpander will push in very aggressively and take down Elikor immediately. I thought they were just going to sit back, but no, they're going to go in very aggressively and actually win this fight. So props to them for doing that.
Omrak will be getting out, and their one solace is Omrak gets out, but this is going to be the end of it. There's only 1 minute left. It is now impossible for poor top 5 Rocket to even take a round at this point. With second now, or mid not even getting capped. They're letting it off for just a second because they want a forward spawn camp. That's not cool. The BM is strong here because it's already game over. Why delay it even further? And he's actually got the shutter open so he can get some damage off around the corner.
Funny.
And that's going to be a roller kill.
Oh,
a double roller kill.
Just standing in the car. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I can't believe they actually somehow managed to get the door open, and now they're just waiting for people to spawn. 2, 1. Oh, there we go.
BM,
and
because they're not even capping mid. This is absolutely unright. Because they have Mookie waiting on last. They have a scout waiting in the lobby, and they're just spawn camping everyone.
Oh no!
Oh, now the door finally closes, so
they can't
now it's just going to be
get out there. Oh, the door has finally been closed though. This is one of the better spawn camps I've ever seen. It doesn't really matter because the game is over, but it's still really funny. Oh, Scout comes in from behind, takes down Mr. Epic. That's not really the problem there. Oh no, Flu goes down as well. There we go. That's gonna be game 4-2 in favor of Lowpander, and I feel like they really asserted their dominance there at the very end, just spawn camping the crap out of them.
Yeah, that was. I was against that. That was really rude. Like, it's one thing to spawn camp, but to hold the door open and then not even cap mid when there's no time left. Like, you're literally just padding your stats and there's nothing they can do. Unban the short circuit, and then that will never happen again. I'm kidding. Don't unban the short circuit.
As if it's Sixers players know how to use unlocks, man. Like, come on, let's be real. They wouldn't know.
What are gunboats, dude?
Oof, I don't know. Like,
oh wait, this is EU in 2017. I take it back. You guys know what gunboats are.
Yeah, like it took us about 5 years, right? But like I'm pretty sure we only started using them recently. I wouldn't know, but yeah.
So that's gonna be it, and we now have stats loading up on the page I have in front of me here. So very shortly we'll be getting underway with the breakdown. But I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Ombrak. That surf, everything about that everything that happened on that first mid or the second mid, where he surfed away from the bomb from, I think it was Ubers, and then they Ubered. He was forced on his own on his own forward spawn, and he wrapped around and was able to surf another rocket to get out. So insane! I was just absolutely blown away by the plays. But we also Ombrak's actually here in the Interview Me channel.
Yeah, let's go through some more stats and then we'll pull him in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
As soon as the stats load at all, I'm still seeing.
Oh, I'm just looking at the log page. I wasn't given the link.
Let me get the log
I got in
page
here late,
and I'll look
but
at that.
but yeah, I can tell you that the Ubers did have a lot of damage. I wouldn't be surprised like 1,000 of them was at the very end when he was just spawn camping. But yeah, also has 3 air shots again. Obviously the important stat. And then Elikor had a lot of damage, but he went 12 for 12 otherwise. So his kills definitely fell off, whereas Hilders went 20 for 9 and had way less damage. He actually had even less damage than on Badlands, but he just had so many kills. It's kind of weird.
Hildreth really stepped up in this game as far as frags and staying alive. The only player in the game outside of the medics to have single-digit deaths. So very good showing from him in this game. I was very glad to see that. And of course, Ubers with the insane 10k damage. Breaking 10k damage is so huge. I mean, all at I-61, Banny was constantly doing 10k damage. And so it's really nice to see that, you know, everyone else in Europe is every now and then hitting that benchmark in an actual match.
Yeah,
Very
Uber's
good stuff
definitely one
from
of the
Ubers.
people that probably is most likely to just always perform extremely well. I think one stat that stands out to me here is Fun's actually going 13 for 17. He actually had a really bad game on Gollywash.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I didn't notice it at all either. Like same goes for Neo, but I guess it was just a stalemate, and they were just suiciding, and like he wasn't
Yeah.
the sniper, so he was just kind of left to just sit around and overextend and die, and get sniped. Right, so I think that's what happened quite a bit, but yeah, like usually Funds is a beast, but every once in a while, I guess we'll see these mediocre stats coming up from him. But yeah, let's not talk anymore. Let's pull in some lovely Frenchmen and Englishmen
And
to
Hildreth.
boot. Yeah, some lovely people in Hildreth have joined us. Just kidding. Congratulations, Hildreth, on your victory tonight.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
really
so
solid stuff. Hildreth, turning up in the second game. Your performance was based on the stats. Your performance was a little shaky in game one, but this game too was really solid. Having the least deaths of every other player, really solid stuff, and really good turnaround.
I don't know what to say about game one. We were very messy in the Uber fights. They were very uncoordinated, so that was part of the reason, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I really know. On Gullywash, we were a lot more cleaner in how we did the Ubers trades and so forth.
yeah, and Umbrak, for the second week in a row, you seem to like put in a really good performance against one of the top teams. So, like, are you happy with tonight, or did you want more points?
We lost, so I'm unhappy, obviously. I don't know. We held our last a lot on Badlands, but overall, I think we could have had a word in it and take it. If not the 30 regular minutes, but at least in the golden cap. I think we were in control, and then we did a rookie mistake. I feel like we were a bit reckless, and that's what punished us. And I don't know what happened on Gillywash. We lost pretty much all the mids, which is usually our weakness, and it didn't really convert into. I think this game just highlights that we're still a young team, as in we have 2 new players and we still need to build some chemistry. So 1 point is decent. I was expecting more, of course, but I mean, if we want to go to playoffs, Lowpander isn't the team to beat anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, I also want to point out that according to the logs, you won 5 out of 7 mids on Gollywash. So I know you lost at least one of them, like kind of after the fact, but still, you seem to do fine on mids, at least according to the stats. So I'm not sure what you're on about there, but yeah. Hilda, can you talk about what did you guys change from Badland to Gollywash? Like, what caused you to kind of step up and take it pretty securely?
Well, Badlands, the biggest struggle was pushing last, definitely. That was just the biggest struggle. We didn't actually lose any rounds from it. The round that we lost, I was really disappointed in because it was a bad trade to take on Spire, and then we lost the round from there. On Gullywash, like at least we didn't really give them any free rounds, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, they broke us twice. That's fine though. So there wasn't much to change. It was just more like we had some set plays we do on each map, and they were working on Gully, and they weren't on Badlands. But you've not practiced against us on Gully, so you didn't really know them.
We noticed that there was a lot of like sending people into water and then sending in suiciders. Like it all seemed to revolve around the water and the point and the medic. Like it seemed to put on a ton of pressure. I don't know if both Onbrek and Hilder want to talk about that because it seemed like Onbrek, you guys couldn't deal with it, and it worked really well for you guys, Hilder.
I know. I just sit there on shutter and top left spamming. I don't see what goes on that much. But a lot of it's about people recognizing what their defense setup is, and then playing off that. Like, it's going to be different each time.
From my perspective, this is when I was talking about rookie mistakes. It's like everyone says go for point, but no one really commits to it, so we lose it. And yeah, that just I think there's more people in Lowpander at the moment that are able to analyze a situation and make decisions out of it. While in top 5, I feel like we lack that a bit. That's probably because like
Because you're playing medic, the smartest player on the team.
maybe like two of our players are still new to Prem. Credo only had 1 season, Flu it's his first season, and from medic I can't see everything, so we still like the analysis mind that we would need to break holes. Again, I feel like the Lego game was useful to us to see what we should do to win, and I think this one highlights what we shouldn't do. So again, it's good practice for the rest of the season. And again, I don't care about losing versus Lowpander. I would be more worried about with losing with weaker teams. And even though we're underdogs, it's cool that we put up a good fight versus Lowpander, and it's promising for the rest.
Yeah, I called you guys like in the middle of the. I'd say it was like a mid-prem team, and that you were probably more likely to fall through than to actually rise to the top. So, do you have any choice words for me?
I don't have. I think mid-prem is actually where we belong now. I see 3 teams playing for the top, and 3 teams struggling. And I feel like us and Antic are kind of floating in between. One is going to go top 4, one is going to go bottom 4. Hopefully we're the one aiming for playoffs. But yeah, beating Lego and putting up a fair fight versus Lowpander I'm okay with a mid-prem team right now, and hopefully we'll be top-prem team at the end of the season.
I mean, if you keep banging out those amazing serves like at the beginning of the goalie watch match, that was just so awesome. How did you go from getting forced in lobby to wrapping to your forward spawn to serving all the way to bats and getting out alive? How did that exactly work out so well?
I don't know. I don't really recall. I think it's about instinct. I've played medic for so many times and for so long now. It's kind of you go with the flow. So you have to play with the noise and guess where people are going to come from. So you don't need a wall hack when you have an in-game sound, actually.
Well, there you have it. The secret.
All right.
So I think we'll go ahead and break things down with shout outs, you guys. If you have anyone to call out, give some love to. We'll start from Hildreth and then Ombrek.
Oh, so I was distracted. Let's give a shout out to my brother, who I probably isn't watching, but it was his birthday yesterday. No, today. Fuck.
Phil's birthday, man.
Fuck. It was today. Apologies for swearing. But yeah, I'll give a shout out to him. So yeah, and I guess my team. I guess Komori as well.
And shout out to my team for putting up again a good fight. Hopefully we can learn from this game and win the next one. Sorry for being a bit aged in the game. I lost my nerve at some point, so that's not really good. Shout out for you guys to casting, of course, to gemm or gemm. I think I'll never know how to say it, but for not playing as official and stepping up as a producer tonight. And shout out to people watching the game. I hope it was a fun experience, and that you're gonna tune in for the next game to come.
Well, all right. Thank you guys for coming out. If there's any other closing thoughts, Peter, we can let them know. Otherwise,
just want to shout out Dreamboat for not showing up, letting me cast. Hopefully, we can get like a full American takeover of the stream one of these days.
Yeah,
it's always
producer,
fun, right?
casters, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Get some real NA flavor in here. I can only kind of do the accent, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. So that's what I hope to see in the future.
All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this season 28 ETF2L week 2 match between top 5, and congratulations to Lowpander for being the champions after a golden cap victory on map 1 and a victory on map 2. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you later this week.